Welcome back to our channels, Warriors. We are still growing. If you haven't already smashed the subscribe button, go ahead and have it. Smash it right now. I'm not trying to fuck around on today's episode. First and foremost, let me give a shout out to the newest and following patrons. Las Vegas Flights Live. Go check out that YouTube. It's pretty interesting. Shower Shark. Fuck your chest pains. Pre of these nuts. Lockdown 5. Crystal Bond. La Reina Hernan. Winston. Armando Alejandro Trailero 760 El Skid Nathan Hobie Cat Lead with Love Elber 12 AI Vega Esquiel Big Bad 48 JT Nova Jack Linda the retired CEO Abuelita Irma Michigan Wolverines Mikey 559 the homie Marius Chevelle 66 Abuelita's Journey Gigi and Dos Herrero. If you have not already signed up for that Patreon, make sure you hit that link in the description below. I keep adding more and more stuff you can't be seeing on YouTube. You're definitely missing out. This episode right here, man. Holy shit. You know, when I started the California Department of Corrections in the year 2006 at the young, ripe age of 22. I was not married. I did not have any children of my own. I started at a pretty hardcore, and I know what the people from Calipat are gonna say. Oh, well, you make your own goddamn YouTube. Anyways, I started at a all general population prison, GP. Well, guess what that means? Guess what that means? You don't have sex offenders, right? You don't have people with R's on their jacket. Now, did you? This or that. I've been seeing a couple episodes, whether the blacks check paperwork or not. You're going to hear it from me here first. You know how many times I looked in a person's fucking file and they were just functioning just fine on a GP, right? And that goes for the Southern Hispanics too, believe it or not. And like, well, what do you mean, Hector? Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. Anyhow, fuck, man. No kids. That's one. All gang members, right? That's right up my alley. That's right up my alley. Gang, violence, cops and robbers. Okay, my mind can wrap my head around that. All right, now let's talk about these monsters. Let's talk about the monsters, right? I used to tell my daughter, go figure. Later on in life, 5 years ago, I would have my own child, my own daughter. You guys know that I hold women and children of the utmost value, up there, the highest. And I will do anything to protect them, right? That's just internal. I don't know what it's called, internal being, morals, the way my mind is designed. Delta Yard flipped at Centinela to SNY a few years after I had already been there. Guess what we have now? Sex offenders, okay? Didn't like it then, didn't like it now. The difference also was everything was on C files, those hard copy C files that you would have to go to records to go actually look at what they were incarcerated for, which I don't recommend anyways, but ain't nobody really going to be going out of their way to go check what the fuck, right? You'd probably rather just not know. No, you would rather not know. But I remember I would see these monsters that victimize children, and they would be praying at the breakfast table in the chow hall. I did a video on the chow hall the other day. And I remember thinking to myself, what are you praying for, man? What are you praying for? You're going to hell. I don't know if I told them that verbally. I probably didn't. It just didn't sit well with me, right? The disgust. So this whole freaking episode got started because last night my wife be watching all things true crime ABC 2020, Dateline, whatever you want to call it, documentaries. I mean, they're good, don't get me wrong, but it triggered your boy, right? Just 2 days ago, I told my daughter, "Aren't you glad that your dad doesn't work with the monsters anymore, baby?" Yeah, Dad. Richard Allen Davis killed 12-year-old Polly Klaas in 1993, October of 1993. And guess what? My dad went to the academy in October 1993. Just how weird how fucking numbers add up. This happened in California, no less, north of San Francisco. Gruesome Newsom's fucking, look, I'm fucking sweating. I'm sweating because I'm upset. I'm sweating because it's fucking hot. My wife won't let me turn on the AC, even though we be having solar panels. Hot coffee's fucking hot. Think I'm coming down with something, right? Anger. Anyhow, that shit really set me back. Really boiled my blood. And if you're from outside of California, you're probably thinking, since you've been watching this channel, like, Jesus Christ, California's a mess. Man, I knew the state. A little white flying hair almost flew into the camera. Man, I knew California was a mess, but that CDCR prison system is an absolute disaster. Yeah, it is, right? Since I've been on this channel, I've told you about all kinds of inmates that have been addicted to dope, trash, legitimate trash that are rats, purposely ring up drug debts and then bounce with the intention of not paying back. Okay, solid dudes that landed on an S&Y solely because a big homie didn't like them because had a stronger jawline than them. Jokes were funnier than them. They put them in the hat. You think I'm kidding? I'm not. Right? And then there's motherfuckers that killed their own enemy, street rival gang members, did their time like men, and then bounce. Like, you guys see all, damn, Hector, there's really a lot. There's really a lot that as a correctional officer, you have to be around. And that's kind of why we treat them all the same. Treat them all like blue level 4s. But, hey, maybe clearly that's a problem. But in order to survive, you kind of have to treat them all the same. But we're not diving into that, right? Because I told you, clearly they're not all the same. That's the fucking message right there. They're not all the same. But if you were an inmate in blue, you already knew that. Oh, don't put me on that yard, right? Don't put me on that non-designated yard because I'm going to get off. Right? We'll get to that too. Monsters. So fast forward, now I land at Donovan, freaking 70%. Oh no. 60%. So if up until like 5-6 years ago, more than half of the population became S&Y, right now it's like 3/4 of the way. You got 25% GP soldados hanging on for dear life. Oh man, I'm gonna get my black cam, motherfucker. Just wait. Oh, relax, Hector, relax. Woo. Right, just hanging on. You're gonna make it. I'm rooting for you. You're gonna make it, man. Fuck it. Take it all the way. I don't give a fuck anymore. Oh shit. I'm done tired of talking. Right? I'm done tired. I can't talk you out of anything. Go ahead, find out for yourself, man. I don't give a fuck. Anyhow. The hell? I went like that. So if S&Y, so let's just say how many of those were sex offenders? Probably a lot, considering if the rest that came over from GP filled up those ranks to make it more than half. That's a lot, man. I cannot give you an accurate percentage. I cannot give you an accurate statistic number. But let me be telling you, there are some monsters in the California Department of Corrections. Okay? Again, Richard Allen Davis. is just one person. I was going to call him a man before I made this video thinking, no, he's not a man. He's a monster. He's just one person. Let's do some math here. CDCR total inmate count. Is that a thing? All right. As of January 18, 2023, CDCR was responsible for incarcerating about 95,600. That dude I just mentioned, I already forgot his name, is just one. Do you realize how many more and worse people there are, monsters there are like him? Do you realize that? Do you have a fucking clue? Yes or no? Okay. Now you see how I'm getting older in life. I have a daughter. I'm being more exposed to these monsters, right? And I made the fucking mistake of reading some files. Let me tell you, I will not even go on and dare to repeat things that I've read for a couple of reasons. One major one is I'm not going to pollute your mind with the shit that I know has transpired. I want you to think of the worst thing you can possibly think of, right? And then think of something you cannot, so unfathomable you cannot think of, and then times that by 10 or a million. That's how bad these dudes are. And you cannot. You wouldn't even imagine some of the stuff these guys did, right? And to see them eating their ice cream, sharing little photographs around, laughing, joking, playing their fucking guitar in a goddamn Christian circle. And I apologize, Lord. But you hear what I'm saying. You hear what I'm saying. Right now I'm really getting red and sweaty. There's a lot, right? There's a lot on the plate. There's Gruesome Newsome and his Norway project, right? And people say, why can't the inmates just, this is me being the old chief deputy warden. Why can't the inmates just do what we tell them? They're inmates. Bitch, you were never a CO. You wouldn't know jack shit. How the fuck are you going to mix a GP inmate with those monsters and expect them not to harm them? How? How are you going to? They don't have rules. They don't have laws. As a matter of fact, their laws and rules amongst themselves tell them to go off on them, which they would do it willingly, easily. Period. Right? Period. So it's more to it than the whole non-designated, we're going to mix these guys. Like, hey, man, I don't know who the fuck you think I'm going to be celled up with, but you done bumped your motherfucking head, right? Like, that's not going to happen, okay? Now, what about AB 109, Prop 57, and all those other ones, right? And I keep it fair. I keep it consistent. You can bet your ass I do. Do you realize how many monsters I personally seen parole? Do you realize? You're like, God damn, Hector, you're hitting us hard today, man. Boo, culero, we don't like your truth. No, you don't like this truth. Because I don't like this fucking truth. Right? But if I don't say it, who will? And it's all because of that damn freaking show last night. And I can go on and on and on about this subject, right? Criminals, monsters. Criminals, monsters. Do they have an incentive to change? Year after year, you get a new batch. You get a new batch of monsters. You get a new batch of monsters that are out on the streets victimizing people. They are going to be the meanest, the scariest, and the baddest over and over and over again, right? Because they're predators. by design. So do you think by getting these little young baristas out of Starbucks and telling them, hey guys, we don't want to see you put handcuffs on these inmates anymore. We want you to talk to them. You think you're doing a service or a disservice to the new breed of officers? You think you're setting them up for failure? Oh, Hector, that's it. That's too much truth for one fucking episode. I've never heard you get like this. You're very heated about this. Oh, I am. Right. Couple other things. I see the comments don't trip. Somebody said, Hector, did you see the article about the CDCR employee? It's been a hell of a week for CDCR. One was bringing in dope and cell phones. They caught him. One was doing things to minors. They caught him. The other one, I think, was sleeping with female inmates. They caught him. Speak on that, Hector. Yeah, I will, but I guess I don't speak on it because I'm not surprised. Yes, that shit happened. Maybe you guys are fucking surprised. I'm not surprised. Well, Hector, aren't you part of the problem? What do you want me to do? Jump on their back? What do you want me to do? Tackle them at the ankles? That's not the role, right? Now, think about that dirty cop that was bringing in the grills that I knew for 15 years, that we knew was dirty. The last thing your boy Hector is going to do is be like, hey, man, you better knock that shit off. So he can be like, knock what off? Man, I'm going to file on you. You're harassing me. What are you talking about? And not only that, I just tipped the guy off. I tipped him off that we know that he knows that he's bringing in grills to the inmates. It's just not going to happen, right? So all those little crimes that I just said that all those officers did, yes, absolutely. Yeah, they did them. Well, Hector, you can't say they did them. They haven't been convicted in the court of law. Motherfucker, they don't just gaffle you up for no reason. Well, sometimes they be doing it. But, I mean, shit, they got you in cuffs and in jail. Maybe some evidence on you, then the fucking ain't looking good for you, right? This was a heated ass fucking. I guarantee my wife turned off the fucking AC through that app. Oh, if it's off. Okay, I'm tripping. Just gonna move out right now. Then I fucking turn this shit off, pack up my bags, and get the fuck out of here. 17 minutes in, I'm over here talking to myself. Can't even rewind that shit. It didn't sit well with me, man. I don't give a fuck. It didn't sit well with me. I couldn't do another 12 years. And I was on Delta Yard. There was a lot on Delta Yard, man. There was a lot on Delta Yard. I remember it was late at night on a weekend. Could have been Thursday, committee day. And in housing unit 16, the alarm goes off. One-on-one or inmate battering another inmate. I was upset, right? Because it was late in the it was late in the shift. Fucking time to go home type of late. Way too late. It was yard recall, as a matter of fact. The evening yard recall. Like 2000 hours, 8 p.m. Get off at 10. They bring the little inmate in, and I look at him. I'm like, the fuck, man? What are you doing? Oh, I can't be on the yard. I said, yeah. Why did you fucking, you can just tell us that, right? You couldn't just come up to the fucking program office. You're already on an SNY yard. Couldn't tell us that, goddamn, you couldn't be on the yard. I said, well, why'd you go off on that guy, right? He fucking cold clocked some inmate on the day room table. He's like, because he's a child molester. I'm like, oh, well, yeah, there you go. It makes sense, man. I can't be too mad. Like, right? I mean, hey, man, like, fuck. Go ahead, escort this guy, man. Motherfucker's doing the Lord's work right here. God bless you, son. You're going to do good, I can tell, man. Hector Bravo one day is going to give you a shout out. But on a serious note, man, as professional as I was, and I am to this day, I had to follow those fucking rules, right? I never did anything shady, sketchy to what do you want to call it, man? To put them at a disadvantage, to give other people a heads up on them. No. And that's what burdened me. Like, I couldn't do that, man. I got a daughter now. That motherfucking, That show got my head. That show got my demons just going, right? Well, what do the rest of your partners think about those guys, Hector? The consensus is the same across the board, man. And one thing would always be like, you know, and I don't encourage violence. I don't know if I should say this or not. I don't know, man. It's just you could kind of hear things throughout the. You hear whispers in the hallway, right? And the whispers can be like, man, you hear all these COs that kill themselves, right? You hear all these COs that kill themselves. There's a lot of COs that kill themselves, right? But then everybody thinks like, man, there's a whole yard full of child molesters right there. Like, man, if your goal is to kill yourself, then you know what I mean? Like, and you're probably thinking like, what the hell? This motherfucker lost his goddamn mind. I'm just keeping it real with you guys because in that episode, like 2020, those the FBI detectives took that inmate, he was now an inmate, monster to the scene of the crime and they discovered the body. The body was there. That detective put his hand on his gun, put his hand on his chest gun, and took it out. And in my head, I'm like, yeah, that's what's up. Like, I could already see where this is going. And the dude said it on camera. I was going to shoot him and say that he went for our gun. And I'm like, right? And you're like, Hector, what the hell? You're not all there. What do you want me to fucking tell you? Look what he did to the little girl, the 12-year-old girl that couldn't defend herself, right? Even the partner seen that he reached for his gun and pulled it out and put his hand back and put it back in. He's like, okay, cool, good looking out. That's what a good partner does, right? Prevents you from causing havoc. But like I said, man, if you're going to take yourself out, there's a whole yard full of motherfucking like monsters. Anyhow, man, I don't condone violence. I could not continue to work in a prison. When you got the buffoons, Oh my God, I didn't even get to this. They are the worst. They are the worst in prison. The whiniest, the little baby voice, the little passiveness. Because they know who real motherfucking lions are, and ain't the dude on Workman's Comp. They know who the real lions are, and they're passive. They're little fucking bitches, right? And I couldn't fucking stand it. I'd be like, look at me in my fucking eyes, motherfucker. I couldn't stand it, right? Their little daintiness, their little, and you look at their file, they're straight fucking monsters. The emphasis for today is monsters, period, right? I don't know what the fuck. And I got one more thing to add before I end this fucking such a damn hostile episode. I've done like one other fucking video on this whole entire topic in my 10 months that I've been out. Do you know that I've received comments from some shady suspect people? Well, Hector, how do you know they're shady and suspect? Because the shit that they write, they're giving themselves away. Number one, what the hell are you doing YouTube searching that? Right? Because I did that months ago. Why are you getting on YouTube and typing those letters or words in for that video to pop up? Number one, you gave yourself away. Number two, that guy or that person yesterday is like, oh yeah, they're not all they're not all guilty. Sometimes there's false evidence, just some kind of weird shit, right? And so you're like, well, Hector, how do you know that that's guilty? I have a way of reading people, right? Especially like, let me give you an example. If you have a brand new like gold watch, right, and there's like a neighbor or something, he's like, damn, that's a nice watch. That's a nice watch. That's a nice watch. That's a nice watch. By the 10th, 12th time, you're like, oh, this motherfucker wants my watch, right? Then your watch comes up missing, right? Like, oh, this motherfucker said, been telling me he wants my watch. Motherfucker came over, been making all these comments about my damn watch. That's the type of shit that I'm getting on the YouTube right there. Like, it's so weird, man. I just block them. I should be reporting them to the fucking authorities. But, yeah, stay off my channel, you monsters. The fuck? Let me know what the hell you guys think, man. I went off on one. because I'm a father now. And you guys know about the whole Cain Velasquez, the UFC fighter Cain Velasquez situation. Jesus, man. There's no way. There's no way. Oh, hell no. The message for today is A, take care of the women, take care of the children, stand by your morals, stand by your beliefs. There are some fucking bad, bad, bad people on this earth. And I mean bad people on this earth. Man, that have to be stood up against. With that, keep pushing forward.